Welcome to EQConversations, the podcast that delves into the fascinating world of emotional intelligence and empathy, with your host, Dr. Rahim Lay. He will provide you with extraordinary content on these crucial aspects of human interaction and more. It's time to cultivate your emotional intelligence. Here's Dr. Lay.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another enlightening episode of EQ Conversations. And today we're going to dive into the realm of relationship management, where we uncover the profound impact emotional intelligence has on fostering better human connections. Now, some skeptics out there might view EQ as a sign of weakness or insignificance, but I assure you that understanding the intricacies of emotional intelligence, what it does is it grants us the invaluable opportunity to introspect, to make positive change, as well as cultivate meaningful relationships that truly matter to us. So in this episode, we're going to shine a spotlight on relationship management, an essential aspect of emotional intelligence, or EQ, and we'll unravel its meaning. We're going to explore its significance and delve into the crucial skills we need to master in order to nurture and build positive connections that bring us joy, fulfillment, and a sense of lightness. So let's get into it. Now, what is relationship management? Right. Throughout the past 2 years, when I really started to dive into emotional intelligence, for me, it started by a negative experience I had as a leader, a negative experience I had with trying to have connections with other people. And I felt that when it came to relationships, I thought that I was pretty confident. You know, I've always had friends, my family, they don't ignore my calls. I talk to my family a lot. I'm married. I have a very healthy marriage, I believe. And I have a young daughter as well. So when it comes to relationship management, I thought that I had it figured out, right? But I was wrong. And so when it comes to relationship management, what I've learned is that, it's widely acknowledged truth that relationships are a dynamic interplay, necessitating the active, involvement of two or more individuals to foster their growth. In our hands lies the power to skillfully manage these intricate webs, if you will, of connections. And so relationship management, as the name aptly implies, it revolves around the art of effectively handling the various bonds, we encounter in our lives. And traditionally, this entails nurturing positive and harmonious relationships, with our spouses, partners, family members, friends, employees, and colleagues, etc. Right? But with relationship management, it extends beyond mere interaction. Pretty much encompasses the profound ability to influence others towards their highest potential. Right? And it reminds me of a article I read in Forbes, where they pointed out, and I may hack this up, but I just remember them saying something like, show me your friends and I will show you who you are. And what that meant to me was you show me those with whom you spend your time, and I will reveal your essence. But it is crucial to recognize that the individuals we choose to surround ourselves with create an environment that naturally fosters personal growth. And so our very being becomes intricately intertwined with those, we choose to invest our time in. And so maintaining positive environment within our realm of relationships is of paramount importance. Those who grasp the significance of relationship management assume a role of influence, impacting interpersonal skills and leadership. What often goes unnoticed is that relationship management stands as a pillar of emotional intelligence. And in fact, it is the final pillar following self-awareness and self-management and social awareness, right? From a philosophical standpoint, emotional intelligence is essentially the pursuit of forging robust, healthy, and impactful connections. And so when I talk about those four pillars, when it comes to self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness, and then relationship management, of course we have to go to Daniel Goleman, right? He's the eminent researcher in the field of emotional intelligence, and he urges us not to misconstrue relationship management with emotional manipulation or control. Rather, he invites us to view it as a comprehensive framework encompassing the realms of interpersonal communication, right? So, drawing upon a analogy, Goldman likened relationships to delicate flowers. If we desire a blossom that radiates beauty and fertility, we we must provide it with attention, provide it with care and nurturing. And that's essentially what type of relationships we should aim to have in our lives. And so relationship management involves the remarkable ability to inspire others, influence their behavior, effectively communicate and connect with them, and also aid in their personal growth, their personal development. And relationship management really plays an integral role in conflict resolution. I told you a couple of years ago, I took a hard left turn in my career professionally, my personal relationships, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that I did not have sound relationship management skills. I don't believe these are inherent traits, but I do see these as skills that are honed. Essentially, you have to master it over time through experience. And it reminds me of Malcolm Gladwell, who's I know he's a speaker, he's a writer. He wrote the book The Outliers, and in that book, when he talked about becoming an expert, in order to become an expert at a specific skill, you have to dedicate at least 10,000 hours of intense, purposeful training in order to achieve expert status. And so when I think about relationship management and the skills that one has to continue to employ in order to build to an expert status, theory comes to mind, right? And so just like anything else that you want to become an expert in, you have to practice. Relationship management stands as the culmination of a journey that begins with self-awareness, traverses through self-management and social awareness, and ultimately culminates in the pivotal discipline, right? So looking inward is crucial, for without a deep understanding of why we think, feel, and act as we do, our ability to positively engage with others, over an extended period of time remains, elusive, basically. So when we embark on the path of self-exploration, gaining awareness and understanding of ourselves, we unlock the potential to extend our attention to social awareness. Now, this remarkable skill enables us to empathize with others, comprehend the origins of their joy or sorrow. And it also forges a deeper connection based on genuine understanding. So in essence, relationship management serves as an indispensable cornerstone of our human experience. And intertwining the realms of emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and social awareness, and skillful communication, it just empowers us to cultivate meaningful connections, to foster that personal growth, and navigate the intricate, tapestry of human relationships with wisdom, with empathy, and authenticity. So I truly think the importance of relationship management, we have to look at unlocking the keys to lasting connection. So how do we do that? And this is where we kind of get in skills. And I hope you got your pen and paper, because I really do want you to take some things away. And maybe you already know, a lot of these skills, but I had to learn these things. And every day, from the time I decided to make this a part of my lifestyle, meaning EQ a part of my lifestyle, I intentionally apply these skills to my life. And so When it comes to building long-lasting relationships, relationship management, it does hold the key to cultivating enduring, connections. And so by honing our understanding of ourselves first and what we seek in our interaction with others, not to go in on bad faith or anything like that, but if you want genuine connections, you really have to know how to genuinely connect to yourself first. And what that means is respecting yourself, trusting your decision making, and being honest with your thoughts and your feelings. And so we lay a solid foundation for building relationships that withstand the test of time. Now, this self awareness enables us to navigate the intricate nuances of human connection and forging bonds that are grounded in mutual understanding, that respect, and that fulfillment. That brings me to like when you're enhancing longevity. Right now, studies reveal a remarkable correlation between proper relationship management skills, strong social connection, and increased longevity. Right? It was like a comprehensive review. I saw it's like 148 studies or something like that, but it demonstrates that individuals who possess the ability to effectively manage their relationships are 50% less likely to experience premature mortality. And such skills have a potential to extend one's life expectancy, up to 3 years. Right. And so by nurturing meaningful connections and fostering a supportive social network, we not only enrich our lives, but also enhance our well being and longevity. Now, when it comes to resiliency, of course, resiliency in the face of daily stress, right? The support of solace, it offered by genuine and caring relationships, it really serves as a formidable buffer against the rigors of life, daily stressors. And so when we are fortunate, to have individuals who lend a compassionate ear, who share burdens or provide unwavering support, we experience a sense of emotional respite. Right. So this really contributes to improve stress management, which ultimately leads to enhanced overall well being and ultimately increases the life expectancy. Now, skills to bolster relationship management, and I talked about this in when we're employing self-awareness, is active listening. And when it comes to active listening, it entails more than just hearing word. A lot of people think active listening is just, you're hearing the words of the individual, but active listening actually encompasses, the art of truly engaging with others, and it's processing and retaining that information, making eye contact and being attuned to both verbal and nonverbal cues. And so by demonstrating a genuine interest in others, their stories and their perspectives, we communicate our care to respect, I'm sorry, I care and respect to that individual and their time. If they're really trying to bond and really trying to connect with us. And so cultivating active listening skills allows us to be fully present in that moment, and carefully considering the information shared before we actually respond, right? And of course, the umbrella, when we talk about emotional intelligence, while relationship management is a pillar of emotional intelligence, it is worth emphasizing its significance here. And when it comes to EQ, it just equips us with the ability to observe body language, gauge suitable approaches for conversations, to navigate conflicts, right? And foster understanding within relationships. And so by developing emotional intelligence, we enhance our capacity to forge authentic connections. And that requires us to build empathy. That requires us to be a little bit more compassion or show a little bit more compassion. Now, speaking of empathy, my first book is dropping on September 18th of 2023. It's called Empathy Has No Rank. And it really focuses on my military career, in being in leadership position and being around leaders and seeing how leaders respond to their troops, their service members, and how empathy is the foundation. It should be the foundation of every conversation, regardless of rank. And this doesn't necessarily have to be, even though I use a lot of military um, experiences because that's been my profession for the last 2 decades. It it can translate to you know, for Fortune 500 companies and small businesses and families or whatever have you. Um, but empathy is the foundation of our communication, our connection with other people. We got to have empathy first because empathy forms that bedrock of meaningful relationships. You know, right? It encompasses the profound ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Right? I've always the best way I explain it to people when I do speaking engagements is, it's the difference between feeling, as someone versus for someone, right? And we want to, when it comes to empathy, we're really looking at, feeling as someone, right? And so by actively practicing empathy, we convey genuine care and concern. We're fostering an environment in which individuals feel comfortable opening up and expressing themselves. And it deepens the bonds we form and strengthens the foundation of our relationships, right? And those relationships can literally extend beyond the family, extend beyond your immediate work environment. It gets right into networking skills, right? And in the realm of personal branding and professional settings, networking skills play a vital role in relationship management. Okay. There's a lot of different people. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on the social media sites. I see all these different businesses, and these businesses need support. And so when it comes to relationship management skills and building your brand, networking is significant. And so effective networking involves introducing oneself to others, offering assistance, exchanging ideas, and establishing connections. And by cultivating strong networking skills, we expand our social and professional circles, which in turn it unlocks new opportunities for growth and collaboration. And I think that's super important. And I think when we go out there and we build these networks with other people, or we building these connections, a lot of the times we got those two forms of communication. You got your nonverbal communication skills as well as your verbal communication skills. But I specifically like nonverbal communication skills, right? Because I find it to be a fascinating aspect of relationship management because it encompasses, um, having the ability to convey messages without relying on spoken or written words. And I think that is so powerful for us, right? But because being, attuned to nonverbal, cues provides invaluable, insight into hidden messages, right? It enables us to be um, to better understand others, their thoughts and their emotions, right? So proficiency in nonverbal communication empowers us to respond appropriately, foster effective communication, and nurturing healthier, relationships. And so verbal communication skills, of course, it's the cornerstone of effective relationship management, right? And so through speech, we express ideas, emotions, and of course our thoughts. um, but it involves actively contributing ideas, sharing perspectives, and lending an empathic ear, um, uh, um, to others, essentially. So, by embracing the power, of verbal communication, we create an environment where open dialogue it actually thrives, and we end up fostering authentic connections and deeper understanding. And so, relationship management holds immense significance in our lives. And by investing in the development of key skills and fostering self awareness, empathy, effective communication, we just paved the way for nurturing, enduring relationships, as I stated earlier, right? So, these connections not only enrich our lives, but also contribute to our overall well being and longevity. And so embrace the art of relationship management so that you may unlock the profound potential of lasting, fulfilling human, connections. And so in order to become skilled in relationship management and unlocking the path to meaningful connections, I'm going to actually pass along this next set of skills that I wrote down myself, like in my own journal, because I had to find a way to not only bounce back from bad situations, of course, but as an adult, you know, later in his life, I'm 45 years old, people. I'm 45 years old. So when I look at what kind of connections am I going to have? Um, how are my relationships, the people that I have around me, are they helping me to improve as an individual? I really went on a hunt for different skill sets that I want to have myself, so that not only if I can recognize it in others, but I can help other people develop those same skills. I run a online um, academy called Academy for Managing Emotions Naturally. The acronym is AMEN, um, or I say Amen. But these skills, I talk about these skills in the training, and each of the individuals that come through the training, which right now is all men, but each of the people that come through the training, they get their certification for emotional intelligence, and I, I encourage them really to just apply these skills in their lives every day, right? And so um, when you're developing proficiency in relationship management, it does require effort, it requires strength, and most importantly, it requires commitment to EQ or emotional intelligence. And so while it may not always come naturally, there are specific steps that you can take to enhance your ability to navigate and nurture relationships. And so let's explore some of these skills in detail. Number one, understand yourself first. Okay. And the reason I focused on that, from the get-go, is because the journey towards effective relationship management, it actually begins with self-awareness. So this pillar of emotional intelligence necessitates a deep understanding of oneself, both internally and externally. Now, by seeking greater awareness of your thoughts, your feelings, and behaviors, you can uncover the underlying motivations that drive your actions and your beliefs. So your thoughts and emotions um are linked, right? And they directly impact our behavioral responses. And so by recognizing negative self-perceptions such as low self-esteem or anxiety-inducing thoughts, you can better understand the emotional states they generate. So, with this awareness, you can take steps to reshape your thoughts, cultivate positive emotions, and manifest healthier behaviors, right? And so, external self awareness complements internal self awareness. And it does this by allowing you to recognize how your thoughts, emotions, and actions affect the people around you, something that I had no clue of and I failed miserably with. Okay. Um, so by actively considering the impact of your emotions and behaviors on others, you can enhance the quality of your relationships and build a more empathetic, connection. And so the next thing I want to talk about is paying attention to others' feelings. Now, of course, this is the skill of empathy, right? And empathy is a powerful tool, right? In the realm of relationship management, because it involves, of course, putting yourself in someone else's shoes, seeking to understand their perspective without needing to exchange places or situations, right? And so empathy allows you to bridge the gaps that often arise due to differing emotional states and perspectives. And when we are absorbed in our own experiences and emotions, it can be challenging to comprehend the feelings of others. I mean, let's be real. However, developing empathy requires us to take a step back and imagine how a situation appears from the other person's point of view. And by doing so, we gain valuable insight in their emotions, their thoughts, as well as their motivations. And so recognizing and understanding the feelings of others, the main objective is that it reduces misunderstandings. It actually minimizes frustration, as well as resentment. It fosters a sense of connection and compassion, laying the groundwork for meaningful relationships, right? So cultivating empathy allows us to truly see and acknowledge others, strengthening the bonds that we share with people, right? Um, and so my next a skill here is, I want to definitely say, don't compromise yourself. Um, and this is again something that I learned from experience. Do not compromise yourself, and try to uphold authenticity when it comes to relationships. And so maintaining healthy relationships does not mean compromising your own values, your beliefs, or identity to please others or avoid conflict, right? And we do this so much subconsciously because it's really crucial to remain true to yourself and not sacrifice who you are in the pursuit of holding onto a relationship, right? So while conflict avoidance may seem tempting, trust me, I know this may seem tempting. It's just important to recognize that genuine relationships require authenticity and mutual, growth and development. And so the goal of relationships should never be to ensure everyone around you is always content at the expense of your own well-being. I mean, that really doesn't make sense when you think about it. And so this one-sided approach, what it does is it leads people to becoming a people pleaser, essentially, and a loss of personal integrity. And instead of prioritizing staying true to yourself and your values, which is something that we all should be focused on, even in the face of disagreement or conflicts. So if you find yourself gradually sacrificing different aspects of your personality or beliefs, take a step back and evaluate the value of that relationship in your life. And remember, healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect and acceptance of each other's authentic selves. But you really have to embrace the idea that conflicts can be healthy and necessary for personal and relationship growth. So it's super, super essential to understand that constructive feedback is a valuable tool for self improvement and relationship management. And so actively seeking feedback from others to gain insight into how your actions and words impact those around you is critical. I remember when I went through my woes professionally, and I had two coworkers come and tell me, you know, what they're not seeing from me as their leader. And when you listen to respond versus listening to understand, you definitely lack emotional intelligence. Um, I knew that about myself. I realized that about myself. And that was critical when it came to being taken serious as a professional. When you do not know how to take feedback well, people can't follow you. They can't trust you. They can't trust your leadership. Right. And so having learned that and being able to say, you know what, I have to learn this and put myself in a position to be a better leader, a better person overall. And so feedback is super important, super important. So seeking that feedback to gain insight into how your actions and words impact those around you is so critical. And learning to receive feedback gracefully is a skill that requires practice and essentially like an open mind, right? So when seeking feedback, approach the conversation with a genuine desire to understand and improve. Consider the purpose of the discussion, actively listen to the feedback, and appreciate the value it brings to your external self-awareness. Now, timing is also crucial in these conversations. So ensuring you choose the right moment, and create a safe space for open dialogue. All right. Now, engaging in difficult conversations is an inherent part of any relationship, is it not? Right. And it's important to feel apprehensive about communicating openly due to fears of retaliation, anger, and quite frankly, disappointment. However, developing assertive communication skills can help you navigate these conversations effectively. And so by expressing yourself assertively, you know, you then start to communicate your thoughts and needs while respecting and feeling the perspective of others. And so maintaining healthy relationships requires the commitment of authenticity, assertiveness, and open communication. Stay true to yourself, value your own well-being, and engage in constructive conversation that fosters growth and understanding. And really embrace feedback as a opportunity for personal development and thrive for meaningful connections. That's really built on mutual respect and acceptance, right? Now, in navigating realities, I I want you know we all love celebrity relationships. I mean, who don't, right? Now, one relationship I have been fascinated with for quite some time. Um, Now I respect both of these individuals, but I I I, I think there's a lesson to be learned from Will and Jada, right? Again, I followed them for a very long time. I definitely, when it came to Jada Pickett and Will, we saw them. I saw them as like a power couple, right? But this relationship was, when I think about relationship management and I think about emotional intelligence and I'm thinking about all of these different pillars of emotional intelligence, I think this couple, because they had most of their lives in the spotlight and so much information about them, I thought was very significant. Now, when it comes to celebrity couples, they're often put on a pedestal, with their relationships perceived as perfect and devoid of struggle. However, the reality is that, Hollywood power couples face their fair share of challenges, requiring effort and commitment to maintain fulfillment and happiness. And so, a prime example of this is the relationship between the Smiths, Will and Jada Pickett Smith, which has weathered its own storm of rumors, speculation, and personal growth, right? And so relationships, particularly romantic ones, are dynamic and ever evolving. Okay. Now, what distinguishes successful relationships is the dedication put into their maintenance and sustainability. And when I look at this couple, how long they've been together, despite the ups and downs, I'm pretty impressed with it. I'll be honest. But love can be an intense and euphoric one day and reaffirming your beliefs that you made the right choice, but it can also leave you questioning its viability on other days, right? Now, since 2013, I believe, roughly around 2013, I say 2013 because I remember I was in Korea. I was stationed in Korea at the time, and I just remember hearing the rumors of separation or divorce and infidelity that swirled around the Will and Jada. At least for me, when I really started catching on, with this couple and really tuning into them. Now, despite the couple's response and denials, these speculations have persisted. And in 2020, we all know things seem to reach a tipping point when August, what's his name, Alsina, when he claimed he and Jada had been involved romantically while, she was still, of course, married to Will. And even suggesting that their marriage was open at the time, right? And so the revelation shocked many, but it prompted Jada to address the issue openly on her series, The Red Table Talk, which I think just ended, not too long ago, actually. Where she acknowledged the relationship with Alcina, stating, that she was in a lot of pain and feeling broken during that time. Importantly, um, she realized that seeking happiness outside of one's self is futile, basically. And Jada admitted that they had tried everything to separate from each other, only to realize that it actually wasn't the solution. And so while we can't fully understand the intricacies of their marriage and relationship, it is evident that Jada, like many individuals who, in committed partnerships, made compromises and sacrifices. However, it is crucial to highlight that compromising at the expense of one's own happiness often leads to anger, resentment, and in some cases, self-sabotaging behavior such as infidelity, right? And so in Jada's case, what she sought with August was happiness, but it ultimately proved elusive, right? And what stands out in her self-awareness is recognizing her own shortcomings and seeking to understand herself. Self-awareness is that fundamental pillar, right, of emotional intelligence, and it plays that vital role in relating to others and fostering, the happiness within oneself and loved ones. But we all possess unexpressed thoughts and feelings which can become compressed over time. And so gaining insight into these internal processes allows us to understand our thoughts, emotions, and actions. And so, leading essentially it leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves. And in Jada's journey of self-discovery, it enabled her to recognize her actions and prioritize her own happiness. um, it is worth noting that Jada never believed in conventional marriage, right? As Will attested, to in an interview with I believe it was with GQ, with underscoring the importance of her mindset and personal growth within their relationship. And so Will and Jada, they have engaged in numerous discussions throughout their relationship, right? Delving into their ideal of perfection and in the dynamics of their relationship. Um and their reasons for choosing, you know, uh, monogamy. Again, we know the rumors are out there, but their open communication, the trust, and granting each other freedom were essential for their personal growth and mutual support. And so, if you find yourself trapped in a reoccurring pattern with different people, especially patterns that are detrimental to your well being, it is just crucial to acknowledge the fear of causing harm to yourself or others. Um, and Will Smith, he demonstrates this understanding and acknowledgement during his Red Table Talk conversation with Jada, right? His previous experience, including divorce from his first wife, informed his approach to marriage with Jada, with divorce being off the table, right? And amidst the rumors, the struggles, and the external scrutiny, Will and Jada Smith marriage exemplifies the power of self awareness, I think, and effective, communication to some degree, definitely a level of trust to some degree, and granting each other that freedom of grow to grow individually. Um, they didn't focus solely on working on their relationship. They prioritized personal growth and self nourishment, which, in recognizing that their own happiness couldn't solely rely on their partner to fulfill their needs or their insecurities, right? And so the marriage between the two of them, it really serves as a instructive example of how understanding oneself, effective communication, um, again, trust and a growth, and granting that freedom, can help manage and sustain a relationship. Now, their journey showcased the complexities, and the challenges that can arise in any partnership. So, even in the world of celebrities, by learning from their experiences, we can gain insight, right, into being, or building and nurturing our own relationships, ensuring they remain strong and fulfilling. And so when it comes to that, the power of human connection, uh, we are in the business of unleashing, excuse me, um, emotional intelligence, because human connection is a remarkable phenomenon, right? And it creates a profound bond between individuals, right? And so providing a sense of being seen, being heard, being valued. But as social beings, we crave these connections. Make no mistake about it. I always tell people to this day, like, I know money is important. I know technology is important, but they don't make the world go round. People make this world go round, right? Um, Now, when it comes to emotional intelligence, it's going to empower us to navigate the intricate dynamics of human connection. So, uh, when we engage in genuine human connection, we open ourselves up, to a world of possibilities. And that's really all I'm trying to relay to listeners out there, is that when it comes to EQ, things that I have read, the things that I have taught other individuals, the things that I apply to my life, I'm looking for better connections, genuine human connections, right? I'm trying to dispel the negative energy of, and the anxiety that comes along with a lot of things that centers around my insecurities and lack of trust and things of that nature, right? I'm trying to dispel that because in order for my beliefs to be stronger, in order for my beliefs to have a chance, if you will, I have to implement new behaviors, right? The beliefs get stronger as behaviors become more consistent. Hence, it goes back to Malcolm Gladwell and the 10,000 hour rule, because when adversity hits, when I'm misunderstood, when there's a false sense of perception about me or whatever have you, I can take that criticism, look at, okay, how can I apply what I just learned about myself from others, if you will, and make changes, right? That's what this is all about at the end of the day. When we engage in them genuine human connections, we do open ourselves up to the world, of possibilities. And so by developing emotional intelligence, we become attuned to our emotions and the needs of those around us. That's really what it's about. And EQ, it really enables us to navigate conflicts and challenges in our relationships with grace and understanding. Right. Um, but we have to cultivate self-awareness. We have to become more mindful of our own triggers and our biases. And what that does is it allows us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. And that is something that I myself, I was notorious for doing. Did not know I was doing it. But as you learn these things and you open your mind up, it becomes a better understanding, right? So, um, in a world of that whole technology often dominates our interactions, right? Everybody is glued to social media. I think it is vital to cultivate EQ and prioritize a genuine human connection by embracing vulnerability, empathy, and self-awareness. We can offer or foster a deeper and more meaningful connections with others. So let us seize that opportunity to connect with others. For it is, through these connections that we truly, discover the beauty of the human experience. And so I'm going to tell you like this. One, when it comes to how you get those connections, surround yourself around uh, people who share your interests. Overcome that initial resistance and let your fate do its thing. Try to become more positive in your thinking and in your behavior. Open up, right? Don't hide in the corner, basically. And be present. Right? Be present and actively listen. Right? Um, Respect people's boundaries, understand attachment styles, and lastly, express gratitude. Gratitude. Listen, that's my time here, guys. Um, Thank you so much for joining me on this unforgettable adventure, and I hope you found immense value in exploring the depths of relationship management and the power of emotional intelligence. And remember, the key to better connection and personal growth lies within your own emotional accountability. Until next time, continue to nurture your emotional intelligence and watch as your relationships and self-esteem, I promise you, it'll flourish. And don't forget, when it comes to the podcast or YouTube, I'm on all the social media platforms at EQ Conversation. Definitely come and check me out. Send me an email at EQConversations@gmail. Let me know what you think about the podcast and what you want me to cover when it comes to emotional intelligence. I will be getting into bring in some experts in the field of emotional intelligence, how EQ can effectively be managed in a workspace, in homes. So I think those interviews are going to be very exciting. Until next time, stay true to yourself, and always remember, emotional accountability is your responsibility.
Thank you for tuning in to EQ Conversations with Dr. Rahim Lay and embarking on this transformative journey with us. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we'll dive deeper into the fascinating world of emotional intelligence and empathy. Until next time, remember to be kind to yourself and others, and always strive to cultivate your emotional intelligence.